this is Lockdown Beers with Steve Baggsy Biagioni. I dropped a bit of a bollock when we were recording it because I was just looking, so I was in the middle of the screen, so you can only see half my face like this. But yeah, it was a really good chat with Steve. We didn't mention his new build. Check out his YouTube channel, which is Baggsy Boy UK, because at the end of the month, his new car will be shown on his channel. So check that out. Subscribe to my channel. Leave any comments. See if you want anybody to tell us who you want to have a chat with next. Leave that in comments. Give it a like. And yeah, this is Lockdown Beers with Baggsy.
We're recording.
Oh, how are we doing, mate? Nice to see you.
Do you think he's going to answer this time, or is he going to...
Is this the 7th time that he's playing the rockstar sort of thing? And have you noticed how on none of these other calls, everybody else were always ready on time? It's me who has delays. We'll just sit here waiting, mate.
He's not even answering. He's pioneers, mate.
Did you want to speak to him anyway?
He's unavailable.
I think he's available.
Kid's a prick. See if I can add him in again. You froze, Steve. Oh no, you haven't.
Rose, mate, I'm just bored. I feel sorry for people who watch this. They're going to think it's off to a bad start, aren't
they? Yeah. Come on, Steve.
Come on, Stephen. Come on, Steve. Right, if he doesn't answer, I'm not waiting again.
Yeah. So just tell him to, hey, you ring us next time, mate.
And then neither of us answer.
Yeah.
We could be like giving him some really good news or like a mega deal or something amazing be happening and he's just missing out.
No, he's already unavailable. What a prick.
Signal's broken, mate. I think I'm busy. I'm going to wash my hair. See you in a bit.
You could do it cutting it, never mind washing it. But it was a rate shampoo, aren't you?
Yeah.
Come on, this time.
I feel like it's too much of a build-up now. It's just going to be a disappointment.
Oh, he's here.
Oh, he's finally joined us.
What's that, gentlemen?
Press your camera button at bottom, Baggsy.
What's that, mate?
There's a camera button at bottom. That's it.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, he's here, look, finally.
Sorry, boys. I had a little technical breakdown. You said use your phone, right? So normally, obviously, on my laptop, I'm used to doing calls or whatever, and it folds out nicely and it holds itself on the table. And then I suddenly realised, as you were calling, I was like, oh, shit, I can't hold it for like an hour. I'm going to take a picture of what I've done in my garage, and you can have a laugh because I've got a sort of air conditioning sort of condenser unit with 3 paint pots and a massive roll of insulation that goes in your garage, and it's all holding itself up. So if the phone falls down
at any point,
we're now, yeah. And then I'm trying to construct everything. I dropped my beer.
We're not quite as professional as some calls I think you might have.
It's not very professional. Not.
That's the idea.
3 Durex trade paint tins holding themselves up, and it's going terribly.
What colour did you use?
This one's white. Then we've got brilliant white, and then we've got
awesome white.
Cream at the back.
I'm more thinking about why have you got aircon in your garage?
It's like an air conditioning unit that we use to the truck.
Oh, right.
When we were playing that, and then as I've been playing the sim in the garage, it's been really hot during the day. I've been trying to get this thing to blow at the sim, and I don't overheat.
Right. We'll let you off. How you been getting on with that, Sim? 'Cause I see you post something that you weren't very good at it.
I'm absolutely useless at it, but I'm getting better, slowly but surely. Getting a little bit better at it. But yeah, it's not straightforward. It's not as easy, I think, as some people make it look. That's for sure. Especially like Kieran and Connor and all that lot. You know, it's it's not as easy as they make it look. I can assure you that much. But I'm having a lot of fun though. It's great to have it. Good for staying in touch with some of the boys as well. As you know, I spend a lot of time actually on it with Martin Richards and Axel and George and that. So it's good. It's good fun.
So do you think it's more for the laugh rather than actually improving the skills?
I don't know. You know, it's a tough one to argue. Like, I don't know. You know, it's fun to do. I don't know how. I guess I don't know yet how beneficial it might be in the car, but it's hard to argue when, you know,
And Alan all of
track and then they just kill it straight away. So
yeah.
there's a lot to be said for spending time on these things, and a lot of the F1 boys do it, obviously, and it's it's interesting. I'm certainly gonna stick with it and see if it makes any difference.
Do you wear your glasses on, Sim?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Because I noticed that I think the round in Germany you got your glasses on and then your podium, didn't you? And you've had them on since.
I tell you what, that was the first time I ever wore glasses really driving the car. I had a go about 2 or 3 years ago. Driving the car with them, and they were just like a massive inconvenience. So every time I wanted to put my helmet on and off, and I was like, "Sod this!" I didn't feel like it made any difference. And then my girlfriend and a few of the boys in the team were like, "Just wear your glasses. Let's just try it." And then obviously it went really well in Germany. But the funny thing is, right, in Germany, nobody noticed, and I don't think I've ever told anybody, but apart from maybe Corbyn's about the only one that knows. And maybe Martin Richards, because it was a bit funny. When I went in the final against James, and we were all on live stream and that, and I've got my glasses on, as you probably noticed in my helmet. In the final, one of my lenses had fallen out. So I only had one eye with the glasses on. The other one was completely see-through.
Did that not make it even worse? Is that why you didn't win?
That's why you lost.
I couldn't believe it. I got out of the car, and then I suddenly realised that my glasses, one of the lenses was missing. And I think it was Martin or Tess that found it on the... in the pit somewhere. It was just on the floor, and people have been walking all over it for like the last 20 minutes. So I managed to pop it back in my glasses, and it's still in there now.
I'm supposed to wear glasses, but I don't wear them. I seen you doing it. I was like, maybe I should try putting my glasses on when I go driving.
Do you know what it is? It's perception of depth and speed. I feel like I can just see distances a lot clearer. It's not necessarily, if I was sitting here now and I was looking around, I'd see any better in here. But at speed, when I noticed when I was chasing cars, really more than anything, is that I felt like my reaction time could be just a slightly little bit quicker, and I could twin closer and stuff and be more reactive. And that's all it came down to, really. And then obviously when we went to Ireland for the next round of Driftmasters, we couldn't see nothing because the rain was so bad. I couldn't see the screen. So it all went out the window at that point. But no, in Germany, I felt it definitely helped, especially at night as well. You know, it was really good.
Yeah. So what have you been up to while we've been on lockdown?
Still doing a little bit. I've been down to the workshop a fair bit, just trying to, keep some sort of normality, just sort of trying to sort the place out a little bit, tidying up and sorting stuff out. Really haven't really done anything really to, write home about. Been spending a lot of time at home here with the sim and stuff, and just try to do the best we can with what we've got available, which isn't a lot, as I'm sure everyone knows, but just try and I've got a dog, so I've been walking the dog a bit, and it's just been not really doing much, just sort of the garage, just doing bits and pieces. So that's about it, really.
So your garage is obviously SB Motorsports.
Yeah.
Is that just for your cars, or do you do a bit of customer work as well?
A little bit. We're lucky in the sense that the workshop was kind of set up just for the company to kind of look after the cars that we have as part of a team, and obviously all the transport stuff we do, and all the moving of cars. We do a little bit of local work, so a little bit of day-to-day stuff in and around Southend, and we've got a couple of cars in at the moment that we've been doing bits and pieces too. Got Lewis Mitchell's car in. and a couple of other builds, like friends of mine that wanted to build a few bits and pieces. So we've got a little bit, but the majority of the work is obviously running the events that we do, which is keeps us fairly busy, to be honest, from sort of March through to October. So there isn't a lot of time in the schedule to kind of try and do massive amounts of work, and we're lucky in the sense that we don't have to rely on that to race, but at the same time it's nice just to have a little bit of, when we've got downtime in the garage, to still have something to do.
Yeah, but obviously you are probably the only British driver who this is your full-time job. Drifting is your life, isn't it?
Well, I guess so. I guess there's other people that probably, I guess, don't have to work so hard to do, to still drift and stuff as well. They don't have so many commitments. But yeah, no, it's I've been doing this sort of, I guess it must be 12 or 13 years now, and I suppose the last 4 or 5 I've been lucky in the sense that we've got enough to make it our full-time priority.
Yeah, you are the most, like, in my eyes, you are the most professional UK drifter that there is, like, so well done, pal.
I feel a bit emotional. I didn't realise we were going to get this deep.
No, it's one of them. Like, I'm sure, like, it's not just me. A lot of the other UK lads kind of look up to you to go, you fucking cracked it. Do you know what I mean? And a lot of people ask me sometimes, what is it that you've done that's, how have you been able to take these steps, and how have you got to the places you've got to, and all that sort of stuff. And I've always kind of just tried to look at it in the sense of, almost like running a business. It's a case of if you get asked to do a job by somebody, like an event, or if you get a sponsor that comes to you and wants to do something. I started with zero. I didn't get any help from home at all, really. Mum and dad helped where they could, but nothing was given to me at all. I was lucky in the sense that after the first couple of years of drifting, doing the BDC or whatever, that I got a lot of support from Jap Speed back in the early days. I was taken under their wing and really given a lot of opportunities very early on that a lot of people probably didn't get. And when we pulled away from there, and I went on my own and kind of did it with Mark and Ian back in the day, I kind of just knew that I wanted to make this work, and the only way I could make this work is if I could try and find the money to be able to do it, because like everybody, you need funds to make this happen. And I realized that you had to do a lot to get a little bit, so I just tried to do as much as I could, got a little bit of support, and then tried to keep building and building and building, and that, reinvesting what I could and try and make it bigger and better. And that's kind of, after about 4 or 5 years now, it's kind of the level we've got to, really, where 6 or 7 events, which was like BDC or whatever it was, the BHP show down at Lyddon, all the normal sort of Jack Fest, all that sort of stuff. It kind of got to the point where we had to kind of keep doing more and more to kind of financially make it work. Sweet. Yeah. So you just hit on a bit of your like drifting history. Where did it all start for you? How did you get into it?
Oh man, I watched the one with Ian. The one you did with Ian.
Yeah.
And he pretty well. I think he explained it pretty well, to be honest. Sorry, my girlfriend is taking a photo of the paint tins and trying to work out what I'm actually doing here with a phone and painting air conditioning unit.
Is she been at home yet?
Yeah, Insta versus reality. This is. Yeah, it just started with just being I was mates with Ian. I was mates with a lot of the local lads that were into cars and stuff, and we kind of just went out on Friday, Saturday nights, and I had a Fiesta at the time, I think it was, and I just saw a bunch of lads doing sort of like donuts. And
did it have a big body kit on it and stuff?
Sorry?
Did it have like a big body kit on it and big wheels and stuff? A bit like a proper Max Power car?
It probably was, to be honest. Yeah, it was a bit Max Power-y back in the day. Yeah, and I just saw lads doing donuts and figure of eights and stuff, and it looked like a lot more fun than just pulling the handbrake up round the roundabout in my Fiesta. Yeah. So I went home and I kind of Googled cheap rear-wheel drive cars, and the cheapest car I could find on eBay was a Volvo 340 1.7, and I remember clearly bought it off eBay. I bidded on it. I got it for £104.
It was about an hour up the road, so I went and picked it up, and I got it off this old boy who was basically given up driving and had it since new, and it had about 50 or 60,000 miles on it. It was absolutely immaculate. There wasn't a mark in it, and I just didn't have the heart to tell him that I was about to take it up, mig the diff, and things, and put some lowering blocks in the back, and just go and have a bit of fun with it. And that's kind of really how it started. I just got the cheapest car I could, welded the diff, waited for it to rain, and just went and found somewhere quiet, out nowhere near any houses or anything, and just tried to start learning to do donuts and figure of eights. And then after breaking everything on that car several times, and Ian probably getting the ump with fixing it, I decided to buy a Nissan 200SX and go there. And shortly after that, that's when BDC started, and kind of where my history of drifting kind of started. And then entered the first ever round of the BDC, which was back in 2008.
How did you do that, Phil?
Was that in your own car then, or in like how quick did you do that speed?
It was in my own little red S13, which I was me and Ian kind of painted our cars very similar, and we had like a little team going on at that point. And it was cool. It was a lot of fun. Went to Teesside, first ever round at Teesside. That was when you used to do solo runs.
Yeah.
In the amp. No twinning was allowed because we didn't have cages or anything, and we literally just used to do qualifying runs. And it was kind of decided on that, really.
Can you imagine like that now?
Not live streaming like a full day of qualifying runs.
I feel sorry for the people that used to have to come and watch drifting because they liked it back then. Our mates would travel up to come and watch. Like, bloody hell.
So obviously, if you're in like the pro-am amateur class, then did you get into the pro class at the end of that year?
Yeah. So the top 8 of the amateurs that year were allowed to go up into what was called the pro class or semi-pro class at that point. I've actually got my licenses over here. They probably tell you semi-professional was.
It's been a while since you were semi-professional, hasn't it?
Have you ever seen the original BDC licenses?
No, get one down and show us. In fact, I've got one.
Have you?
What, from like 2012, not like as old as that one.
2008.
Look at your hair there.
That's when I am.
You look beautiful.
Oh,
Speaking of that, like Loza did ask me to ask you,
was
it when did you not shave all your hair off for charity?
Pretty thing or something.
And then it's never grown back since.
Basically, yeah, that's what happened. Yeah. So Paul McCallum and Sweeps thought it'd be a great idea to raise some money at one of the dinner dances, and they decided to shave my hair off because I was obviously into having long hair at that time and dyeing it, having yellow hair. And then they shaved it off. My good friends, they all had to bid. I think there was quite a lot of money raised on the night, if I remember rightly. It was about $1,000 or maybe more, and everyone had a go. Lappage and Ian and my mates, they all had a go at cutting me hair. Some of the Max's girls even chipped in for good measure, and then somebody shouted out, "Why don't we shave his eyebrows?" And I was like, "I'll do it for another 400 quid or something." And about later, someone piped up with 400 quid. I was like, "Oh no!" Honestly, I went home. Dinner dance was quite late that year. It was I think it was like November sort of time, mid-November.
Mm.
And I just remember about a week later, I had to go around to my mum's, and about 2 weeks after that, she'd booked a photographer to do like a family photo at Christmas. Honestly, mum saw me, she just started crying. She looked ill. Like I generally looked like I was going through treatment or something. I looked really bad. And she just got so upset. She cancelled the photographer for these Christmas photos. And I don't think she spoke to me until about New Year.
So you look the opposite of what Matt looks like now.
Yeah.
Homeless man.
It was horrific, yeah. But it raised money for charity, and it was good.
So obviously at the end of that year you got your pro license. Did you get approached by Jap Speed? How did you get on with Jap Speed for the next year?
Yeah, so the year after that was 2009. The guys at Jap Speed offered me some support if I ran sort of their colours and, Jap Speed on the car and stuff. And it was kind of a bit of a break that I needed really, because I was kind of struggling at that point to try and get.
Before you start, how much a job were it to fuck Wando off?
I was just thinking
going a different team.
To be honest, Ian kind of sacked it off about halfway through 2008.
Right.
I think he got to Norfolk, or maybe I can't exactly remember. He'd done like 2 or 3 rounds out the 5, and then he dropped out for the last 2 rounds. And I think he sat out then for a year or 2. I don't think he did anything until back. I don't think he got back in a car until maybe like 2010 or 2011. So
he's about 12 years out, hasn't
he? He has now.
Yeah, he did a bit again, but yeah, no, I think he sat out after that. And then obviously I just got offered to go and drive with Jack Speed, and I was very lucky. I was very, very grateful at the time, because there wasn't really any sort of support, sponsorships didn't really exist. Drifting was still so new in the UK that nobody really knew, I suppose, how to even approach brands to get some sort of support, or media hadn't really been talked about. It wasn't a thing. It was just we were just doing what we loved. We never realized that we could actually maybe get people to help us do this, without having to work 7 days a week, 18 hours a day almost, So, Paul came along from Jack Speed and, offered me a drive, and I was very, very lucky. And with the support I needed that year, we managed to somehow get a lot of seconds, get a lot of thirds, and take the championship that year.
Oh, so you never actually won an event?
No, not in that year.
Still not won one?
Yeah, I've won a couple, yeah, but
not. Oh, no.
Since then, won a couple since then. But I didn't win any that year in 2009. It was just a lot of seconds and thirds, but it was kind of just, I guess, like winning any championship. It's like a lot of luck and a lot of consistency.
Yeah. That's what makes the fucking champion, isn't it? As long as you keep going all the way through here.
Exactly. And then after that year, Paul wanted to build something that was, going to sort of, get everyone excited about a new car and sort of break the mold of what drift cars look like and were, build quality wise at that time. And that's when the Subaru was kind of born. I got to drive that for 3 or 4 years. First couple of years were challenging. We were working through a lot of problems with the car. There was a lot of issues with, the amount of power it kind of had, and the gearbox and diffs and that sort of stuff. We're talking way back in the day where nobody really, knew what a Winters diff was, or axles, or, anything like, even the GTR, GTR rear end hadn't even really played at this point back in 2009 and 10. So
we were almost still on 6-bolt SX shafts.
Yeah, exactly. And nobody even really had lots of power back then. It was still sort of 400 horsepower was more than you needed. There was no semi-slick tires. There was no talk about side bite or forward grip, whatever. Nobody had invented bump steering, drifting, and all that sort of stuff. All just like, I think Polo cut and welded a set of hubs together for it. It was just like, hope this sort of works, and it kind of worked. And after a while, we got it working and developed it, and it was, by the end, it was it was starting to really come along. It was a really good car. We changed the engine to a 1J, which kind of opened a whole new world to that car. It was so much more reliable. And
you did well in 2012 in it, didn't you?
Yeah, we got a few podiums back in 2012.
Like, you're the only driver that actually did all right in that car, aren't you? Because a few people tried after you. Not mention no names, I hope, but
yeah. Your mate, Matt.
My mate. Oh. Mr. Apple.
You can tell everybody that story if you want, Baggsy, about in that nightclub at the Maxis party.
I'm not getting into all that, mate.
He's a professional, isn't he? He's a professional.
Who else drove that car? Brett drove it, didn't he? Brett Castle.
Yeah, so the funny thing was, when I left Jack Speed, me and Paul, I said to him, you should get Brett Castle to drive this car. And I think he still doesn't remember me saying it, and he still thinks I was still lying to him. But I generally said to him, you should get Brett Castle to drive that car. And then Brett Castle turned up the next year in it. So
were Paul pissed at time when you told him?
Say again?
Were Paul pissed at time when you told him?
It's a possibility.
Paul, get pissed.
He done all right. It's a tough car to just jump in and drive. It's not like a BM or an S body.
it's very, very different the way it handles. So you know, without testing and practicing it, I don't think anybody would expect to just jump in it and go straight into it. I think Danny done quite well to do what he could do with the car, as far as getting it to work and driving it and stuff. And then yeah, it's been parked up ever since, as far as I know. I think they've messed around a bit with the bit. I hear rumours of a new engine in it and all sorts of stuff. Excited to see what maybe Paul has next in store for that car.
So then after Jap Speed, you got on with the Acorn lads, and which was kind of back to your old team, really, wasn't it?
Yeah. So Mark and Ian had kind of formed a team with a good friend of ours called Scott, and he had kind of organised everything for them and kind of made this sort of semi-professional team in the BDC that was kind of able to get them back out on the track and stuff. And yeah, it was great. It was such a laugh. Back then it was so sort of stress-free. We got this car, got another S13 put together, and it was so much fun, hanging out with the boys at the weekend. It'd gone from just hanging out in the pits without a car working to kind of now having a car that kind of worked, and a car that I was comfortable driving and having fun and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, it was really good. And for years, me, Mark, and Ian would have travel up and down the UK doing BDC and all that sort of stuff. It was great. It was great times.
How comfortable were you when it rolled over?
Not very comfortable. That was the first event back, actually. I remember it like it was yesterday. Just came down the hill at Liddon, went to enter, like kind of gave it a little flick just to get it to transition nice and snappy. And the worst thing I could have done, I should have just tried to straight line handbrake and just got it to turn out on the first run in the car. Anyway, big flick, and then the handbrake kind of failed. So as I kind of got it that way to try and go that way, it just didn't go that way, and it just kind of went that way. And I just
did the handbrake definitely fail though, or was it the driver that failed?
You were waiting for that, weren't you? You've been waiting. You've been waiting all day to come out this. And then I just remember when it just went straight towards the wall, and there was nothing I could do. I literally just tried to keep it away from the wall as long as I could, but inevitably there was nowhere to go other than towards the wall. And I kind of hit the wall at such an angle that it kind of just twisted the car over onto the roof.
It was a really pathetic roll, wasn't it? It just kind of hit wall and then just went upside down.
It was the slowest rollover as well ever. So you could hear all the fiberglass sort of cracking and rolled over. And then what was more frustrating was because I was upside down, the Liddon Hill medical staff obviously have procedures, and the procedure obviously is if a car has a rollover, they have to put you in a neck brace, they have to put you on a board. They have to, but I'm fine. Just leave me alone. I'll go back to the pit. They're like, no, some bloke's holding on to my neck and was like, "Don't move," shouting at me. I was like, "I'll just get it out, mate," as if I haven't embarrassed myself enough as it is today. Getting me in the back of the ambulance and all that. So, and that was funny enough. That was the first time my mum had been to watch me race in a really long time. About 5 years, she hadn't been to the track to see what I was up to, and she came that round, and I don't even think she knew it was me at first. And then somebody me upside down, and then all hell broke loose in the paddock. She got very upset.
I think you're still only car that's rolled over at BDC.
No, I think there's been. I don't know how much anyone knows. I'm pretty sure there's been more than one.
What, at BDC?
Oh, at an event maybe. I don't know, Matt.
We know about Mr. Lappage. We've talked about that on here before, haven't we?
Yeah. Where me and you rolled it back over.
Yeah.
And then bullied him to go back out in car, didn't we?
That wasn't at BDC though, was it?
No, it was Teesside, wasn't it?
It was Infinity Tyres Day, wasn't it? It was the same me and you rolled over.
Oh, right, yeah.
When you're on the Infinities, wasn't it?
I don't know.
Then me and Matt ended up.
No one else managed to roll over in BDC, no.
Not like I feel like
you're still holding that.
No, honestly, I can't think of anybody, to be honest.
You obviously did the double roll that year, though, didn't you? You did the weren't they in like a rallycross car or something?
You what have you done? Researched everything.
No, I swear. Like Adam's the one who's got all the useless facts. I'm shit at remembering anything.
I didn't even know you did a double roll.
Yeah, I have to remember it.
You got there a PDF document or something.
Yeah, everything to be signed here.
I've watched everything on your YouTube. I've gone through all your Facebook.
Yeah, so it wasn't even later that year. It was the next weekend. It was straight up the hill. Yeah.
In the same place?
No, I got invited to do a round of the British Rallycross Championship.
Written a Swift or something like that.
Yeah. Monster Energy sponsored the British Rallycross Championship that year for the first year, and as part of the deal, they had like this Swift that one of the teams kind of hired, and Monster hired it and was giving it to sort of drivers or whatever to go and have a go in. I think that year I had a go, Terry Grant, Luke Woodham had a go, a few different drivers. Liam had a go in it as well, I think, and it was the first time I was driving it, and I was being coached by the one and only Pat Duran, which is Liam's father. And he's not one to mince his words, is our Pat. And he just basically said the only way to drive a Swift is flat out. You don't lift off the accelerator pedal for changing gears, for corners, for braking. Just brake, but keep the accelerator in. I was like, right, well, this is great advice. I'll go and give it a go. And I got behind this car. And it was a typical event. It was typical event at Knockhill, absolutely peeing down with rain, really really thick mud. And if you've driven at Knockhill, it's as you go over the crest and down the hill, you do an immediate right at the bottom.
Yeah.
You don't carry on. You just as soon as you get to the bottom of the hill, you literally just turn right. So you have to kind of start braking before you get to the bottom of the hill to get the turn. And as I got the turn in, it's another run back sort of the way you've just come, parallel to the direction of the track. And I got behind a car that was just spraying dirt at the windscreen. I really couldn't see where I was going because the wipers were naff. And I ended up, it was terrible. I literally just hit a bank and it just flipped. But it was a way better roll over than Liddon. Like I literally rolled 2 times, door ripped off. Yeah, it was pretty. I've nigh unwrote the car off.
So your first one was because of handbrake, and your second one because of windscreen wipers.
100% my fault. I couldn't at all. It was it was a lot of fun, but yeah, no, it was.
Get invited back to drive that again then.
Yeah, I got to drive it not the next time it went out, the time after at Liddon, and I did a lot better. I think I actually managed to get a podium that weekend, so. That was all right. It was good. It's good fun. It's I've driven rear-wheel drive cars, obviously. I'm sure as you two have most of your lives. And the second you get asked to race a front-wheel drive car, everything you've learned goes out the window. Absolutely everything. I tried to go around around a corner on the loose like gravel and that. You try and accelerate and left foot brake a little bit, and that understeers. You turn in, that understeers. You brake, that understeers. Just everything. Little. Yeah, just understeers. I was even holding on to the handbrake at one point to try and get it to go. Because really hard work, but a lot of fun.
So, do you want to tell us a bit about your fleet of cars? You've got quite a few.
Well, obviously, I started with the S13. Which is kind of on its second shell. It's kind of like Trigger's old broom, really. It's kind of, it's there or thereabouts, all the same sort of stuff, but we reshelled it last year because it just had that many hits in the front and the back that we had to kind of let go of it. Roof. Yeah, so front end's battered, rear end was. So, yeah, I found the shell locally. We reshelled that. So that's the S13. That's an LS3 with a Harrop supercharger. And then we built.
Got sequential and stuff in it, winters and whatnot.
Yeah, so it's got a Quaife 69G, and it's got a winters in the rear, wheelwoods, brakes. It's running about just under 700 horsepower. So yeah, it's pretty fun to drive. Wisefab V2 on it, which is one of the upgrades we did when we reshelled it. It's got a really nice set of ST coilovers on it as well, which are good. Other than that, it's pretty normal, pretty basic on the inside. Nothing very fancy, to be honest.
It sounds basic, mate. With sequential and a winter's different, whatnot. Wisefab front and back.
700 horsepower.
Yeah, I was trying to make that sound better than it was. I was trying to think of what's inside, but it is fairly basic on the inside. It's just a pair of dash.
We get what you mean, mate. It's not an FD car.
Yeah, it's not really a lot going on the inside. That's the S13, and then the PS is pretty much the same, really. Similar spec. It's got a bit more of a Larry V8 up front, which is an NA powered V8. It's an LSXR, so it's basically an LSX but with higher compression with different cylinder heads.
What LS is in your other S13?
So my S13's got an LS3 with a supercharger on it. The PS is a very similar spec, same coilovers, gearbox, diff, everything. But it's got an NA LS in it. So it's an LSX. But when they built it, they call them the LSXR because it's slightly different cylinder heads, which gives it a lot more compression and a little bit more horsepower. So that's also about 700, but it's NA power. And then obviously the GTR, which I suppose is the most well-known car out of all of them. That thing's just fairly gnarly, to be honest. That's got an LSX in it with a huge, great big Garrett turbo on the front of it. Same again, Winters, Quave 69G. That's got a Voodoo suspension kit on it for lock. Voodoo 13 out the States. Because at the time, Wisefab weren't making anything. There wasn't really anything really for the GTR other than a Voodoo kit from a 370.
Is it not the same as a 370Z?
Similar, but there's a few modifications you have to do, but it's essentially a 370Z front kit. We use 370Z front coilovers and then GTR rears. It's got a Winters rear end, which Sticky also make the subframe for. They used Daigo's car about 6 years ago to make a subframe to put a Winters in it for, I think, he FD and subframe and diff from them. And it's been, to be honest, it's been pretty good. It's been reliable, that car, considering the amount of power it's got and all the rest of it. It's been pretty cool. It's been a lot of fun.
What power is it? What a chill.
We tuned it at 1200, and then most recently when we tuned it again just before Autosport, we backed it off just a little bit, so it's about 1100 now.
Safer.
just
didn't rev it as hard, and it just we turned the power down just slightly.
Will you ever compete in that car? Because we've only seen you do like your videos and demos and stuff like that in it.
I mean, to be honest, I would, other than the cost of repairing it afterwards would be quite high. I would drive it competitively if I thought it would be competitive.
I was just going to say,
well, that's the thing.
Yeah, it's just that the way it drives and stuff. It's great fun to drive. It's awesome demo car. It makes a great show. But yeah, it wouldn't stand a chance in Driftmasters. It really wouldn't. It's too heavy. Transitions way too slow. We'd have to go to town to kind of get it to really work in sort of any sort of competition, really.
Well, about BDC.
See, but even in BDC Pro, it's not a joke. Like you can't just turn up in anything. Like there's serious drivers in the British Championship, and I don't think even if I brought it there, like I wouldn't even want to take it to Drift Cup, to be honest. Like honestly, I went to Drift Cup last year with Axel and George to kind of support them, and even the driving in Drift Cup on the Saturday and Sunday is good. Like
that was one of my questions that I got written down for you about Axel and George. You've obviously been mentoring them, kind of thing. I keep seeing you at Drift Cup and whatnot.
Yeah, just I love drifting, and I don't get to go and watch really that often because obviously I'm always normally driving, and I'm obviously really good friends with Axel and George and stuff, and I like to go and support them, just go and help wherever I can. I'm sure, as you boys know, I'm not particularly that great with spanners, but I'm all right when it comes to trying to figure something out quick. If we've got a problem with the car, George was having some throttling issues. We had to make a little just a throttle stop because he kept overthrowing the throttle and it was breaking the throttle, so it wasn't working properly. And Axel's cars had a few different problems with that, and we just try and help spot for him a little bit. Just try and keep confidence in him. The hardest thing I guess with them is that they want to do so well so badly because they see what opportunities there are in BDC and going on from there afterwards. They put so much pressure on themselves to try and get through to win, and so they can go and do BDC, that they end up almost like over pressuring themselves. I'm like, lads, just
going to have some fun, you know.
They're
So
both drivers now, aren't they, as well? They're both with the right mindset. They're decent, aren't they?
yeah, no, they're really good. Axel comes from go-karting, so he knows lines. George is a bit wild, so he's not scared to just crash his car if it needs be. But you know, Axel's pretty good at keeping his head. George, however, when he gets to the start line, Christ, he starts going on about it's down on 5 cylinders, then it's on 4 cylinders. Then Malx isn't looking at him and he's trying to get Malx's attention. And I'm on the radio to him. I end up singing down the radio to him, just so don't worry. You know what I mean? Like, ridiculous.
It was quite funny at round 1 of Drift Cup. As I come through the gates on I think it was the Saturday, and Paul McCallum were on gate, and he says to me, we're like, fucking hell, there's more pro drivers here than there were at BDC. Obviously, because like you were spotting for them too. I come to help Will Gibbs. Smokey were there, weren't he, with Rob? And there were a lot of pro drivers there.
Sorry,
yeah, Paul.
Oh dear. Well, yeah. Well, we was going to come this year, Matt. I promise.
Yeah.
So, why, back to your cars, why did you swap all your engines out for LSs? What made you do that?
That wasn't kind of the initial plan. You know, when we built the PS, we built it with a V6, and obviously the S13, we had an SR in it for a long, long time, but we put an LS3 in the S13, and had a lot of reliability and had a lot of great events with that car. You know, we actually installed an LS3 in it, and then the first event out, we went and won. So we just had a lot of great times with that engine. We were starting to learn a lot about them, and and if you're running more than one car, it makes it a lot easier and a lot cheaper if you just try and keep everything very similar. You know, if you need a sensor in the middle of the night, like we all know sometimes you do, or you need, something's wrong with the gearbox and you've got another one in the car over there, you just go and rob that one.
I hear what you're saying, yeah. So for cost reasons, it makes sense to put like LSXs in all of the cars and Quaves and Winters. Wisefab, like, yeah, I can see what you're saying there. Very valid point, mate.
Hey, Matt, if you had the help to do it, you would 100% have LSX in your car, so you can't knock it.
100%. I'm V8.
That's the way you're saying it, though. If you had like, say, 2 cars that you were running, in an ideal world, if you were building two cars to go and do
only winding you up, I fully agree, 100%. We said it the same line.
That's why we've all got LSs, because we've kind of gone, if we all have an LS, we can just share parts.
Yeah, exactly. You can all carry, you can share the parts. If something goes wrong between yous.
Yeah, it's cost effective. It definitely is, like, all jokes aside.
And in the end, that's all it came down to, really. It was reliable, cost effective, and we were learning more and more about them. It'd be silly to almost go and have 3 cars with 3 different engines, and it just caused so much. Because you have to have spare parts for all of them.
So you can leave your spares package in van, and that'll work for any of your cars.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Which
yeah.
is lucky, I suppose. And that was kind of always the plan, really.
The next question is Grid Life. You've been over to America, got to drive at Grid Life. How did that come about? What?
So when we rebuilt the S13, we were really kind of rebuilding it to send it to America. We got asked to do Grid Life. We got asked to do a couple of demo events in America with Monster Energy. And while the car was over there, there was a couple of different things I wanted to do. And obviously, we got invited to Grid Life, and that's always been an event I've wanted to do. It's very similar to sort of Gap Bill or Drift Matsuri. It's basically just a free for all on the event. Yeah, you can just go and book sessions rather than booking like the whole 2 days or a day. You can kind of book sessions, so you can you don't have to book the whole day or whatever, and they can have lots of different drivers, and then lots of pro drivers will go and just use it as a place to go and have fun and give passenger rides and all that sort of stuff. And I've always wanted to drive that track, and it was just the right timing. So yeah, we shipped the car over there, and we hung out.
Did it meet your expectations driving road Atlanta?
it's a lot smaller than you think. You know, when you watch it on live stream,
Yeah.
it looks massive. It looks huge. Because I think it's because they always have their night events normally, right, at Road Atlanta. So I always catch the top 16 normally, which is floodlit, and it looks huge on the live stream. And then when I got there and drove it, it's actually a lot tighter than it looks on the.
Is Road to Atlanta it's like a left, right, and into like a head type thing, or a loop? Yeah. I know what you mean.
Speeds that they're carrying and stuff, and they come back down out the loop, down the hill and stuff. Especially like Dean Carney and stuff when he comes out of that, that sort of horseshoe and gets on the gas. It's crazy the speeds they go back at. But and then there's some S's around the back at Road Atlanta on the road circuit that you can drift, and they're like as fast as you can go. Literally like as fast as your car will go. That it's so wide. It's like probably a little bit wider than Silverstone. Grass on both. It's a lovely circuit, and you're just hammering. And it's a lot of fun. And I got to hang out. We were there with Accelera, and we had a great weekend. It was a lot of fun. Corbin had to spend a bit. The first day we were trying to fix a few issues with the car, but Saturday and Sunday we had a great time.
So is your car over there for FD?
No,
I'm sure a lot of people are thinking that. No,
it's coming back. It's been there nearly a year now. We sent it there about July last year, and it's now leaving to come back. We did have a couple more events planned. Last couple of weeks we were doing some stuff over there, which obviously has all been cancelled. So, but the car's over there on what's called a carnet. So it's a document that allows you to import and export without obviously paying duties on parts for import and export.
Yeah.
So I can only stay there a year, so I have to bring the car back now. Has to come back to the UK, and then maybe we'll send it back again because there's a few events later on this year. Hopefully, if they go ahead, we'll send the car back again to America later this year.
When you mentioned FD, then I've never asked you this. Like, is that something? I'm sure you'd like to do it, but like, what's your thoughts on FD?
I think it was a dream to do it. I think if I'm honest, I always wanted to do it, and I always kind of aspired to do it and dreamt of like going and doing FD. And I think I'd still like to maybe give it a go, maybe do a couple of rounds here or there. But I have a great time in Europe right now, doing all the events we do, all the different various events we get to go to, demos or driftmasters, or, coming back to maybe do a couple of rounds even this year in the British Championship. I'd have to kind of give all that up.
Mm-hmm.
Go and do the FD calendar.
Have you been and watched an event with FD?
No, I've never been to an FD. No. But I got offered the opportunity about 4 or 5 years ago. I actually got the opportunity to drive one of Vaughan's Mustangs about 5 years ago. Got offered to have a go in one. It wasn't free, obviously. It was he's running a business and it needed to be paid for. But it was just I didn't feel like I would have the opportunity, and I didn't feel like I'd have the confidence in the car. It was left-hand drive. There wouldn't be a chance to go and test the car beforehand, and I just decided it wouldn't be the right time to go and do it. I think if you're going to go and do FD, you need to be in something you're very comfortable in, something that you can just hop in and go and have a good couple of laps and try and push. And to be honest, I wouldn't really want to give up everything that we're doing now. I'm very fortunate in the sense that we get to do what we do, have a lot of fun, and I'd need to probably give a lot of that up to be able to go and do the FD calendar.
Do you think the S13 are built for it?
I
could combine it in.
In all honesty, I don't think it would meet the regs.
What about Pro 2? Will they let you do a round of Pro 2?
I don't think the car meets the regs.
Right. Well, next year, if your car's over there, me and Matt would like to have another holiday out to America and do a bit of FD. So I'm sure Matt could be a mechanic, and I'll get on radio to you.
Yeah. You can bit spotter, I'll spanner.
Yeah, like Pro 2, Pro. I don't really care. Like, or even if you're just driving, we'll come and support you.
Yeah, well, I tell you, the best thing to do, I think, or the best event that would, in America, there's Gymkhana Grids happening hopefully later this year in LA. That's the week after SEMA, if SEMA happens. obviously fingers crossed. And then obviously, yeah, I guess those events will happen again. Yeah, I don't know whether they'll do it at Road Atlanta, Grid Life, or not. I don't think it's on the calendar, or I don't think it was on the calendar for this year, to be honest.
No, it weren't.
Grid Life's happen. They're a great event to go to. They're a lot of fun. There's party in the evening and all that sort of stuff. Same as driftmasters.
I watched the video with you at Grid Life.
Oh yeah,
the vlog that you did. Will there be any more vlogs from you? Because I'd rather watch that than like your Driftenberg videos and stuff. I think the vlogs are a hell of a lot more entertaining.
Do you know what my guilty pleasure is?
What?
I do.
do you know?
Yeah.
Your vlogs.
Well, you were taking piss out of me when I was walking around with my phone.
I subscribed to your YouTube channel, I think at the end of 2018.
Right.
Or maybe in 2018. I tell you what got me, it was just every time I watched the vlog, it just seemed to be you and your accent just going, hey up, it's me and Top back at Teesside.
Taking piss out of Topo at Burger Van and stuff like that.
Honestly, they were hilarious. I even said, I think you won a load of money, didn't you, off Dave Egan for doing vlogs?
No, I never won anything.
Didn't you win one of the? Didn't you get best vlog or something?
No, he never did it me.
Oh, I'm sure
it weren't professional enough. But I'm not trying to be professional. I'm trying to be myself. With these things.
I remember talking to Dave Egan about it and saying how they were my guilty pleasure to watch your vlogs because they were just the most laid back, funny videos that I've ever. I'd literally just be taking the mick out of everybody, and I just thought they were.
Yeah. So if anybody's watching these, go back through my YouTube channel and have a look at them vlogs.
Back in 2018, yeah.
No, I'd like to see more of them. I watched the one where you went to Competition Clutch Factory. Is it Factory?
Yeah.
Obviously met up with Chris and stuff.
Yeah, it was Competition Clutch HQ. Yeah, back over in America. Yeah.
Who helped us out a lot, hasn't he, Matt?
Yeah, he's good lad with these little cars and stuff.
I seen that he got Corbin pissed.
We did actually video that.
You couldn't play it.
No,
Me and Matt have both been pissed with him before as well. So as I was watching it, I was going, I can see why.
I guess for people that don't know who Chris is, he's the owner of Clutch, and he loves to party.
He's a bit of a cannon.
Yeah, he's a good lad. He fits in with quite well.
To be fair, he was when we was over there, he was great. We had a barbecue at his house, and we went out for drinks, and we went to the gun range, and they really looked after us. It was lovely to be there. We did some passenger rides in their car park, and just showed him a good time. It was a lot of fun. It was like Road Atlanta was only about an hour away, so it kind of just made sense on that trip to make sure that we went and visited for a couple of days afterwards. So, and it was nice. Me and Corbin managed to have a day or two of like downtime, so it was fun to just not be rushing back to the airport the second the event finished.
Yeah. But yeah, if you could start them back up and start doing them at every event, I know I'd watch them. Like I've subscribed to your channel and all, pal.
Thanks.
But
no, it's something. I think it's something we will try and do more of. More than anything, it's just that confidence to go and do it. It's that that confidence to just be that guy walking around with the camera, and also I think you've just got to get that mindset where like I don't care. This is what we're doing. This is we want to do this, and and people like them. We've had a lot of positive feedback from it, and we're going to definitely try and do some more and stuff. But it's like anything. You don't always think your life's that interesting for people to want to watch you walking through an airport with pissed out of his head and doesn't know what day of the week it is. But it turned out pretty funny.
Yeah, but clearly from what you said to me, that's what people like, isn't it? You see you taking piss out of each other and
just
how you are with your mates and stuff.
Just being real and just having a bit of a laugh, really, I guess, more than anything.
So we're on to the questions that we've been asking everyone who we've been chatting to.
Hang on, I'm going to top my beer up. Hang on.
Can't do two things at once, can he?
Cheers. Go on then.
What is your best drift memory?
My best drift memory.
on like at an event or a track or just
At an event, if you were driving, watching, anything. The one thing that sticks out to you most over all the years you've been doing it.
Sitting upside down at Lydden Hill.
That's definitely one I won't forget. Do you know what? I think my best drift memory is probably the day we finished filming a video called Battle Drift 2. And
Is that with Daigo Saito in your DJ?
It was the best thing. It was one of the best things I've ever done, but it was also something that was the most hard work we've ever done. You know, we had to build the GTR in like literally 3.5 months. And if anybody's ever built a car from like a normal road car to a drift car or any race car in a period of time like 3 months, it's incredibly, it's incredible how much hard work that goes into that. And me, Ian, Corbin, and a bunch of other people that were helping us at the time.
What did you actually do?
Say again?
What did you do?
I had the most important job.
Morals.
Make the tea.
Paid wage.
Hey.
A bit like when we were building this Z4 of mine. All I did was order pizza and keep Jay's company.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, look, there was a lot of stuff we had to coordinate. There was a lot of parts. We were trying to find stuff. We were ordering stuff from America. We were ordering stuff from Japan. We were ordering stuff from all over Europe and stuff to get bits and pieces for the car. So that was my job. But we got the car built and we headed up to not that far from us, Sheerness. We videoed that video was actually made in Sheerness docks. And it doesn't sound that glamorous. But they actually filmed some of the Pirates of the Caribbean there as well, believe it or not.
Really?
And it was, I tell you what it was, it's just when they said that they were done, when we finished filming, when they'd said they needed no more shots, there was about 5 of us there, me, Corbin, Ian, Chris Jenner from America, one of Corbin's buddies, and we literally just looked at each other and we could have cried. We were so tired, we were exhausted. We just had this big group hug. And I remember there's a photo Larry Chen got of Ian, and like we're all having a bit of a hug. Ian looks like he's crying in this photo, and it was just. I
say he probably will have been. He's a bit of a crier, isn't he? Wonder.
We literally got the the filming done. We had so many problems with the car through filming as well, and it was just such a relief that we'd managed to achieve what we'd achieved. And I just remember that feeling at the time. We just all went and sat down, and it was just a sense of achievement, I guess. And it was a proud moment, to have built that car and got it done and the filming and everything. And we were just all very, very happy it was kind of done and we could go to bed for a week.
Yeah. So will we see Mr. Steve Biagioni at BDC this year?
Did Matt ask you to ask that question?
No. And if you say yes, don't let us down like you did last year. Because I know it got announced that you were coming to BDC and then you didn't turn up.
So, I don't know why Matt did that. But anyway, he was trying to sell a few more tickets.
People when it got announced that you were driving, we got a little refund.
You announced I was doing it in the GTR.
No, that were a communication error in house.
There you
or
go.
maybe a marketing ploy. Don't know.
Anyway, whichever you prefer. No, as I said to Matt, Autosport this year, we were down for round 1. We were going to do it. It's not because I don't necessarily always want to do BDC. I would love to do BDC. I'd love to come back and do a few rounds. I owe so much to the BDC for where I've got over the years, and it's always one I want to come back to. It's my home of drifting, and it's where I started, and it's where a lot of people have driven and had a lot of good times in. And I would love to come back. It's just not always possible with dates. They clash, events, all this stuff. And
you're waffling on a bit. It was like a yes, no answer.
Yeah, the answer is yes, mate.
What round?
Matt, what rounds are on the calendar now?
I don't know.
Undisclosed currently. We're not talking about that publicly.
Did you watch a bit of BDC last year?
I did watch a little bit, yeah.
So who do we think is going to take the championship this year?
I don't know. Is Ollie driving in it again or not?
Yeah.
He's doing it again, is he?
Mm.
Oliver Bolton looks good, I think.
Were
you asking about Ollie Evans then, or Oliver Bolton?
I was asking about Oliver Evans. Is he doing it?
So you went, oh, is Oliver Evans driving? Yeah, he's driving. But he's not going to win, Oliver Bolton is.
I reckon a driver called Oliver's going to win.
Right. One or other.
I was only asking if Evans was doing it because I know he's looking at, obviously, well, he's been said that he's going to do driftmasters as well. So
yeah, he's following your line and having a couple of cars, one for over here and one for Europe.
It's yeah. Well, if he's doing BDC, I think he'll be one to watch for sure. Martin looked good last year, didn't he?
Yeah.
So yeah, he's definitely going to be one to watch again, I think. Who's moved up from Pro-Am or Am to Pro now?
Martin
Cowley,
Josh King,
Paul Cunnington, Josh King. I think out of the ones who have moved up, Josh King's the one to watch. Like,
yeah.
It's always an underdog, I think, that always comes through. It depends who's most hungry for it. I think in the off season, I think round one always shows who's always put in the most amount of work.
Yeah.
So cars that generally break at round one are the ones that have been, people have gone for like a ambitious build, not tested, left everything to last minute, or the ones that are most hungry for it have either left their car exactly as it is and just drive it again, and it worked. Or they've had a lot of practice. So it'll be interesting to see. It's always interesting to see at round one who comes out. But yeah, by about round 2 or 3, you start to see it all sort of change again because everyone kind of picks things back up again.
But seeing as you're driving Driftmasters, who do you think's going to win Driftmasters this year? Do you think it'll be James Dean again?
Did we say the confident answer?
Come on, say it.
I can't.
I'm going to wear my glasses and it's going to be me.
It's a tough one. If you have like 1 or 2 bad rounds at Driftmasters, you're done. You've got to make sure you have a consistent year pretty much to try and do it. I think Dwayne McKeever will come back fighting again. He had a really great start to the season and he'll definitely come back out swinging. I think the Shanahans are always great. If they can keep things consistent, I think they'll do very well. I hope to see. I hope Martin can continue his good form of driving towards the end of the season last year. I think if you were a betting man, you'd probably say James because of he's such a great driver and has such a reliable setup that it's hard to kind of take anything away from him at all. Nor would you want to. I think if you were a betting man, you'd probably go James, but it depends. Again, it depends who turns up for round one. There's a lot on that list. Sometimes they change. Sometimes not everybody turns up. You get a last minute entry maybe.
At them events, do you think you could win any of them events?
Well, I didn't really necessarily think I could win one until we got close enough in Germany. And then, but like everything, you need a bit of luck. You need reliability.
You need your glasses to stay on.
You need glasses with just one lens in them to, it's so wide open. Yeah, I mean, look, with Driftmasters, it's so tough. Everybody there is a former champion. Everybody's won a national series. Anyone on that day could potentially get a podium. It's so hard to predict unless you want to just bet on James and then chance. You probably get him on a podium, but I think I don't think they were expecting to have so many different drivers on the podium last year. There was a lot of change on the top step. Even when you went to Poland and stuff, it was a lot of Polish drivers obviously on the podium in Poland, and it's hard to predict, but it's really hard. It's so tough. Even qualifying is so hard. You have to go at a qualifying run like it's a final battle.
There's no point trying to put a safe run in on your first qualifying run. It's absolutely pointless. Like you've got.
Nobody ever does that anyway, do they?
What's that?
Is that not just something that you said to other people? Like
What?
you go, when you're talking to people, you go, yeah, you put a safe run in, but really you never ever put a safe run in, and you just do 2 runs as good as you can. Matt's smiling because he probably does the same.
I've never tried to.
Sometimes it's about. Sometimes I think it's been maybe sometimes in the past it's been about trying to get some points on the board. Even if your first run is just almost like a confidence builder for your second run, try and get a good solid.
Yeah, but you only get 2. Why would you waste one?
True. Well, anyway,
Anyway, my next question: you turn up to BDC, you get in your car off trailer, and your car's broke. It breaks getting it off trailer, and you can use anybody else's car. Whose car would you use?
Sultan's.
Sultan's?
Yeah.
What, the Aston Martin?
Yeah, is it got to be somebody that's at BDC?
Yeah, but he did BDC last year, so I'll let you have that one.
Yes, probably Sultan's, yeah. Probably Sultan's, to be honest.
But if Sultan weren't there, whose would you use? A UK car. He's like, I just go back in my lorry and pull my other car out.
Maybe Oliver Bolton's, I guess, because it's probably the same as my
Same
S30.
as what yours were like a few years ago.
Ian's probably just built the exact same car. It's got an SR in it, so I probably feel most confident in that straight away, to be honest.
Yeah. Then, if you had a money's no object build, you probably had a couple of these, or at least one of them with GTR. You have a money's no object build. What are you building?
In fact, aren't you building a new project?
We're not allowed to talk about it.
No.
He wouldn't agree to hold this until the 27th.
No, what did I say to you? I said I can't hold my own piss, so I don't want to talk about your new car and let me know everything about it, because I'll just tell people.
All right.
Would it have a VR38 in it?
Maybe.
And then what car would it be? What would it rhyme with?
What would it be?
But totally opposite now and try and curveball it. No one watches these anyway, mate. Just say what it is.
No, especially not this far. But anybody who's watching, Baggsy is building a new car with a VR38 in, and it rhymes with a what?
I'm trying to think what I would build if money was no object, to be honest.
I wish you were trying to think something it'd rhyme with.
I guess do you know what I really like? Obviously James is, the HGK cars are really nice.
I'm not accepting that as an answer anymore because everybody says that.
Oh, right. Is that
No, it's all right. You can have that. HGK. Would you have it with a V8 in or a 2J?
I'll probably have a V8 in it.
What, a mass motorsport one? When are you going to get a massed engine in your proper cars?
What? They're a lot of money, mate.
Right.
When are you going to get one?
I have to work for a living. I'm not a professional driver like Steve Baggsy Biagioni.
Doesn't mean you get a blank checkbook over here, mate.
All right. I'll let you off there. As you can probably tell, I've had a few beers now. My last question, who's your favourite driver?
In drifting?
Yeah.
I think back in the day when I was learning to drive, I think my favourite driver was probably Daiyoshi. I used to really enjoy watching his videos as well.
That Up in Smoke?
Behind the Smoke, yeah.
Behind the Smoke, that way, yeah.
That's it, yeah. Not Up in Smoke, mate, no. Behind the Smoke, yeah. I really enjoyed watching those videos because they were a great way to watch FD. It wasn't just about on track. It was a lot of, in the paddock stuff. So yeah, I think probably he was one driver I looked to, because he does a lot of, he does a lot of circuit racing as well, and hill climbs and bits and pieces. So
he was time attack, doesn't he, in a Civic or something like that?
Yeah, it does. Yeah. So yeah, he was one driver I always thought was a lot of fun to watch.
So then, last question that we finish off with every time. Have you got any questions?
Last question.
Fuck off. Have you got anything you want to ask me or Matt?
Well, Matt, do we have to talk about the BDC, or we could talk about anything else?
No, this is about the BDC. This is all about Adam.
Why couldn't we do the vlog last night?
Why?
I wanted to do it. Apparently you were busy.
No, I were ready at whatever time we were meant to do it, and then you played your normal Rockstar games like you did tonight. I turned up.
Yeah, late.
I heard you were out somewhere.
Last night? I don't think I was last night, no. No.
Adam, where was he?
It was at home.
Oh, was he? Oh, okay.
Don't know what you did.
Never mind.
Hey, it was at home, adhering to all the rules.
Early night.
Oh, yeah, sorry, man.
So I'll cut that bit out anyway, Matt. Steve, fucking ruining it. But no, everybody who's watching, thank you for watching. That was Lockdown Beers with Steve, Baggsy Biagioni. And yeah, we'll see you all later.
Been emotional. See ya.
I'll stop recording now, lads.
Still says recorded on my screen.
Still on my screen as well.